Did you know that in 1987, Disneyland stayed open for 3 straight days? You're not going to believe what happened. You see, in early Disney history, Imagineers had relied on their own intellectual property to create theme park attractions. And they made some great classic rides like It's a Small World, Pirates of the Caribbean, Jungle Cruise, and Space Mountain. But in the early 80s, the Disney company almost went bankrupt. Disney was struggling, and it got so bad that they were almost taken over by corporate raiders, who would have sold off the company in pieces. That would have been the end of Disney. But Disney was saved when a new CEO was brought in, Michael Eisner. Eisner had bold ideas, which included buying IP for the very first time. This was never done before in the history of the Disney company, and it led to some pretty amazing new attractions like Michael Jackson's Captain EO and Star Tours. Now, Star Tours did something that had never been done before. It took a 747 flight simulator from the aviation industry and put a theme park ride into it. And not just any ride, a Star Wars themed ride. It seemed like a great idea for an attraction with this new IP they had just bought. But what Imagineers could not have predicted was what happened next. You see, it had been almost 10 years since the last Star Wars, well, anything had been produced. And nobody realized that the pent up demand was so great that the public response would be simply overwhelming. So the day Star Tours opened, the line stretched out of Tomorrowland and completely down Main Street USA and almost out of the park. In fact, the line grew to over 5 hours long. After all, this was literally the only theater in the entire world playing anything to do with Star Wars, this little spaceship sized theater. So at this point, Disney had a choice to make: close the park and send people home disappointed, or stay open. Disney chose the latter and kept Disneyland open for 3 straight days. Guests could stamp their hands and come and go as they pleased. The cast members worked round the clock shifts to keep everyone happy, and the Disney company thrived. This is just one example of how Disney always created great guest experiences by exceeding expectations. And as for Star Tours, it went on to inspire an entire genre of simulator attractions at theme parks across the world. If you love stories like this, like and subscribe for more.